Okay, we got this messy file we've been generating here. We're going to stop the charge. We're actually going to stop reporting the data. So we're going to stop the charger, just so we don't hear that beeping noise in the background. We're going to come over here, and you have two ways to print this. Print current page, HTML file. The HTML file is something you can put on the web, or you could use that, look at with your browser. Let me go in and change the options so that the serial 5 minutes and serial always are turned off, and write the information, and now it'll be quiet while we do the rest of what we're doing. Okay, so whatever screen you're looking at, if you hit print, it basically sends it to the system printer in black and white. We don't want you to use up all your color ink, and you can read this just as well in black and white as you can in color. And so once you do this, the system will send it to the printer. The printer should start up, print the file out, and this works with this screen, works with this screen. I'm going to print that out as well. So the printer has now printed out this last page we were looking at, and this is a good way to get all the information about your cycle data off the machine as well. So basically, here's your printout, and we're printing out the graph now. So that's what this does. Basically, you can print the current page on your printer in black and white, and any screen you're looking at also gets printed. Okay. Next thing to look at is compare files. Now this is a little tricky. What we're basically doing is you can either use the file that you loaded the first time, or you can make a new one. And the default is to use a new one. So as soon as you hit this button, you get a file dialog, and it asks you to go find the files that you want to look at. Now in this case, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to go to the new data log files, and I'm going to set it up so I can view them based on the details, so I can see how big they are, because it's not much fun to look at a tiny little file. It looks like there really isn't any good ones in here. So let's go back up, and we'll go to the some of the older database files, old serial data logger files. Okay, now we've got some bigger files here. So here's a big one right here. So we're going to load that, and immediately it goes back and wants to load another one. Now this stupid computer reverts back to the last way you looked at it. So I'm going to load the same file twice. Okay. And now what it's doing is it's trying to load the file into here, and it's such a big file, and I don't know what the hell it's doing. So I guess we'll have to stop and do it again. And to do that again, we want to take the file dialog back to that condition, and let's pick a little better number, something that I actually know what the hell it is. And this is a problem when you get a whole lot of these files like this. It's very important that you name them in the right way so that you can see what you've got later on. And I would throw away all the bad ones and just keep the good ones. Oops. I want to get the details here. Details lets you see how big the file is. And a typical file, a real long run, is going to be in the hundreds of K. Bad civic, dropout test, discharge. Let's open this field up so we can actually read the whole thing. Test, 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 test. 60 amp discharge for internal resistance. Let's test night charge. Test 4. All right, let's try this one. Mark Bertsky cell drop test 4. And then we got to go back here again. And I have no control over this. This is XP doing its stupid business. So Mark Bertsky cell drop test. This is one of the things I hate about XP is the damn menus. Don't remember what the hell we did. So this is the one here. Okay? That's what it's supposed to look like. So basically, here's the discharge, and there's a recharge. Now this happens to be the same file, so automatically, if this index here is at 0, you're going to see it there. But the idea here is you can shift the file left or right, one at a time. So this shifts the red one. Now, if this was two separate discharges, you'd be able to see the difference in slope between one and the other. And once you get it lined up so that it's where you want it to be, and if you want to make a fine adjustment, you can just click over here, one digit at a time, and you can get it exactly perfect. Then you hit this reading file, and now it's viewing. So basically what was happening is it was reading the file in and in and in, and in the process of reading it, we shifted the data from the end to the beginning. And so this basically doesn't change the file, but it changed where we start reading the file. So now if we want to use this chart tool, we can go in and take a little closer look. So we come in here and you can zoom in on this portion here, and you can see we weren't quite lined up. And this is where this old new thing comes in. By hitting viewing again, we can now make adjustments to this and get it exact. Just happen to know that it's the same file, so it's going to be the same place when these are both 0. And then we can hit stop, and then we can zoom in, and you can see that it's really exactly lined up one on top of the other. Now, the easiest way to zoom back out again isn't to click your mouse, but it's to hit Control-Z. Oops, oops. Uh-oh. No. There we go. You just read it back in again. Usually if you do this and you hit Control-Z right after it, it'll get you back again. It's not seems to be doing it right now. Control-Z. Well, that's too bad. So basically, I don't remember how to get this back again if that happens. Except to go back and re-enter it. So it can use a little work. Feedback from you guys will help. You can also zoom in different ways. You can zoom in on the whole area at a particular height, and all you're really doing is you're changing this number here to another number, and you're changing this number to another number, and this allows you to zoom in, zoom out, make the thing longer or shorter. And if you want to get it back where you were, you just hit that, and it automatically makes this the length of the file, and it automatically sets this thing dynamically a little above and a little below the maximum points. So it's not great, but it allows you to look at two files. You hit the viewing, you can slide either one of the two files either way, and it's very useful. So this point here is exactly the same point as this point, since it's the same file. It gets trickier when you're using two different length files, because one may not go all the way to the end. But if the files are pretty similar, it works well and you can see what's going on. And of course, when you're done, you hit the viewing. And that takes care of that. Now we got to be careful you don't zoom your page so you can't see it anymore. And so now we've gone through everything. You've gone through the graph, you've gone through the variable data, you've gone through the cycle data, and you've gone through the compare files, and you've seen how the setup works. And that's it. Simple as that.